Hello Army, welcome back to my channel, your daily home for the boldest, most emotional, and most surprising stories in the BTS world. Hit that subscribe button and settle in, because what happened on Jungkook's live broadcast has shaken the entire fandom in a way we've never seen before. Tonight, something happened that no one expected. For years, whispers spread online, theories, exaggerations, misunderstandings, all piling up around Jungkook. And until now, he addressed none of them. But during this broadcast, something shifted. Jungkook finally spoke, directly and openly, in a way that left millions speechless. The comment section froze. The fandom went silent. And within moments, the entire internet erupted. The second he appeared on screen, fans noticed immediately, this wasn't his usual relaxed energy. There was a weight behind his eyes, the kind that comes from making a decision long before hitting go live. Comments poured in instantly, a tidal wave of concern and excitement, but Jungkook barely reacted at first. He looked like someone gathering courage, someone who knew that once he spoke, nothing would be the same. He adjusted his hoodie, took a long breath, and finally looked straight into the camera. "I know there's been a lot," he said softly, but with a firmness that made every viewer lean closer. The chat stopped for a heartbeat, as if everyone watching collectively held their breath. The rumors surrounding him had lasted years. Stories twisted out of nothing. Photos taken out of context. Relationships invented out of thin air. He never commented on any of it. Not once. Until that moment. Jungkook leaned closer to the screen, lowering his voice as if talking to each viewer personally. "You deserve to hear from me. Not from people who think they know my life. From me." The seriousness in his tone sent the chat spiraling. Some begged him not to stress. Others told him to protect his peace. But everyone wanted to know, why now? Why break years of silence tonight? He paused, rubbing the back of his neck, a nervous habit longtime fans recognized immediately. "I stayed quiet because I thought silence was the kindest thing," he admitted. "But sometimes silence makes the noise even louder." Those words hit like a punch. Even through a screen, it felt raw, unfiltered. Jungkook wasn't angry. He wasn't dramatic. He was simply being honest, more honest than he'd ever been in front of millions. He spoke about how every small moment becomes exaggerated, how friendships turn into headlines, how stepping outside becomes a conspiracy theory overnight. He reminded everyone that behind global fame, he's still a human being. "I laugh, I get stressed, I make mistakes. I get confused. But I'm still just me." The more he talked, the more the atmosphere shifted. It felt like the walls between idol and viewer disappeared. This wasn't Jungkook the superstar. This was Jungkook the person, tired, vulnerable, sincere. He confessed how overwhelming the expectations can be. How hard it is trying to grow and create while constantly being chased by speculation. But through all of it, he expressed deep gratitude for the fans who trusted him, defended him, and refused to feed the rumors. He searched for the right words, pausing as his eyes softened. "I just want to be understood. Not perfectly. Just enough that you know my heart." And somehow, that simple sentence hit harder than any revelation could have. It wasn't a confession. It wasn't a dramatic secret. It was the truth, plain and real. As the live continued, the energy lightened. Jungkook smiled again, teased a little, reassured fans that he wasn't upset, just ready to speak after holding things in for too long. "I'm not breaking down," he said gently. "I'm breaking my silence." And right then, something shifted in the fandom. Not because he revealed anything shocking, but because he allowed himself to be real in a way he never had before. By the end of the live, everything felt calmer, like a storm finally settling after years of pressure. Jungkook thanked everyone sincerely. "As long as you're here," he said softly, "I'm okay." He ended the broadcast with a tired but genuine smile. And across the world, fans stared at their screens, processing what they had just witnessed. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't drama. It was truth, honest, vulnerable, brave. Within minutes, the entire internet exploded. Clips went viral on every platform. Fans analyzed his words, rewatched his expressions, and organized threads to protect him from misinterpretations. The moment united army worldwide in a powerful wave of understanding. Hashtags trended instantly. News outlets scrambled to post articles, though many twisted the story for clicks, calling it a confession or a breakdown. But fans pushed back hard, demanding accurate reporting. While the world argued, Jungkook himself slipped into quiet. Not out of fear, but relief. Alone in his dimly lit room, he replayed the live in his mind. The nervous tremble at the start. The long pauses. The overwhelming emotions. Speaking openly had drained him more than hours of choreography ever could. He read messages from the members, supportive, teasing, loving. He saw thousands of fan comments thanking him for trusting them. Some fans even shared how his honesty gave them strength in their own lives. It brought a warmth to his chest he hadn't felt in a long time. "They really are incredible," he whispered. Later, as the sun rose over Seoul, Jungkook finally fell asleep, not with anxiety, but with relief. It felt like he had stepped out of a shadow he didn't realize he'd been living under. When he woke, his phone was exploding with notifications. His name was still trending. The company reassured him he had done nothing wrong and told him to rest. There would always be rumors, but now he knew something more powerful. His truth carried more weight than any noise around him. Later that evening, he met the members for dinner. The moment he walked into the familiar restaurant, their faces softened with warmth. No pity, no pressure, just understanding. They didn't overwhelm him with questions. They joked, teased, and laughed like brothers who had weathered storms together. One of them asked quietly, "How do you feel now?" "Really?" Jungkook thought for a moment before answering. "Different. Like something finally moved." "You did what felt right," another said. "And that takes strength." Those simple words meant more to him than anything trending online. After dinner, they walked together in the cool evening air, not as idols hiding from the world, but as friends finding peace after a heavy night. And in that moment, Jungkook felt lighter, freer, grounded in a way he hadn't been in years. He didn't know what headlines would say tomorrow. But he knew one thing with absolute certainty. Last night marked the beginning of a new chapter, one built on honesty, connection, and a voice he finally chose to use on his own terms.